Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, WWE planning AEW talent raid.
I'm going to tell you the real reason WWE is stacking next week's NXT.
2 rising AEW stars are taking some time off.
And what happened after last night's AEW Dynamite went off the air. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Hardest news show in the game. Let's kick this thing. He's going to stab you with that. Let's kick this thing off by talking a report here from Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. And it's not a surprise, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Talent jumping ship is fun to me and to most people.
Yeah. Love to speculate on this sort of thing.
Yeah, apart from the silly sausages out there. But apparently, WWE is targeting a bunch of AEW wrestlers who have expiring contracts. Of course they are.
Yeah.
That's how this works. But yeah, Dave speaking about it on Wrestling Observer Radio, noting that a bunch of AEW contracts expire at the end of this year. So maybe January 1st or something like that.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just speculating. I don't really know. And WWE are going to attempt to sign the key ones. Amongst that group, there's no word on who exactly that might refer to, but Jade Cargill is pretty important in this equation. It's important. What they do with her is important because she is probably not going to be the last person who jumps ship. Mm-hmm. So you'd imagine that if a wrestler, obviously you can do that with Cody already and go, hey, he went over there and he's doing great. If they push Jade really well and present her really well, if you're an AEW wrestler, you're going to look at that and go, I can do the same. Like,
yeah.
They're going to treat me well if I go over there, because now I have 2 examples of talent jumping ship and being great and doing cool things. Mm-hmm. So the rest of this is all speculation, right? I mean, there's a lot of names that people bring up when they're talking about this subject. The end of the year traditionally is contract season in pro wrestling. This is when a lot of deals come up. There are renewals. Some people leave. We've just seen the Edger himself, Adam the Copeland, showing up in AEW.
Legend himself.
Yeah, great segment last night. I really enjoyed it. But there's a bunch of people, man. Like CM Punk, obviously, he's a free agent now, but he's the big one. Ricky Starks, I think, is interesting.
He'd be top of my list if you asked me to pick.
Yeah, I look. It's making a mountain out of a molehill, but I do think it's quite interesting that members of the Rhodes family are tweeting about Ricky a lot lately. I know they're friends, I know, I'm just, conflating stuff, but it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
At the same time. And of course, MJF, the bidding war of 2024. Now, we exclusively reported in February that when MJF agreed his new terms with AEW, he didn't actually have an extension in there. Mm-hmm. That was in February, though, so that might have changed by now, who the heck knows, but his name will come up. Look, it's an exciting time for wrestlers jumping ship, and I'm all for this.
Yeah, look, we've had 4 years, obviously, 4 years of Dynamite last night. I've seen people go the other way, and yeah, it's a case study of what WWE can do with all elite talent. Not going wrong so far with Cody Rhodes and how they've given a big fanfare for Jade Cargill. I think it becomes interesting when, not necessarily smaller stars, but like Cody Bloody Rhodes and Jade Cargill were always kind of going to be booked brilliantly when they went to WWE because they're mega stars. Yeah. Interesting to see if they can, convince someone maybe lower down the pecking order in AEW that, hey, we can make you a bigger star in WWE. There's going to be speculation rife about this. The MJF stuff, I believe, I'm not allowed to say a lot because obviously he's my best friend and I know everything about this. But I believe with how quiet that's gone, you would suspect maybe he's signing a contract extension, but we don't know anything about that. But yeah, Starks, I would not be surprised if he is at least tempted to go to WWE. And yeah, timings being as they are, as you say, towards the end of the year, let us know in the comment section below who you'd like to see, who you think could be making the jump to the Fed.
And vice versa. It's fun.
Yeah.
Jumps are fun.
It's never dull, this, is it?
Never a dull moment. Except sometimes when we really have to scramble for news stories.
Granted.
Yeah, we get a few of those every now and then.
Well, thankfully, we've got big news regarding NXT.
Oh, this blew my wig off, man.
So, obviously, Cody Rhodes is going to be on NXT next week, along with Carmelo Hayes' best friend, John Cena, Bron Breakker's best friend, Paul Heyman. I know, Asuka is wrestling Roxanne Perez. I'm genuinely really looking forward to that match, to be fair. But it's a rather more stacked episode of NXT than usual. Only just. Fans of NXT will know that show's been great for a while now. But the reason that they've stacked it, sit down, right, you ready for this? Is because they're going head-to-head with AEW Dynamite.
What? Are you kidding me?
Look, we all assumed this, but Fightful Select have actually confirmed
there you go.
This is the case. WWE expects AEW to do much the same like they did for the first NXT Dynamite feud that happened, 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the ratings here. They've got a title Tuesday over on AEW. I've mentioned what's happened on WWE. I should mention what's happened on Dynamite. Adam Copeland, first in-ring match. Of course, he's facing Luchasaurus. More on that in a little while, actually. And, of course, you've got the women's title. Saraya defending against Hikaru Shida. And the IC title. IC? God damn it. International. That's the other company.
IT title?
IT title. And the IT title, it'll be Ray Phoenix versus John Moxley in a hacking match.
For the Windows XP belt.
Sponsored by George Hackenschmidt.
George Hackenschmidt's finisher, of course, was the illegal operation. So there you go.
It's internet connectivity problems. Yeah. Look, we talked a lot about this yesterday when NXT made those preposterous announcements. Avoid the discourse on Twitter at all costs. But it's going to be a load of fun next week.
Yeah, I might take a week off the conversation on it because you already see dumb stuff. Like talking about AEW counter programming and they didn't move the show, you people. It's like, it's wild. This is the kind of stuff that should be a lot of fun, but if you dive too deep in the weeds,
you're right, yeah.
You encounter some of the silliest people in the world. But you can absolutely have fun with it, and we will. I hope that they take millions of shots at each other during these shows. I hope that Tony Khan does something ridiculous. Books Brad Pitt. Why the hell not? I think I said Dua Lipa yesterday. Let's bring them all in.
Oh my God, yeah, you could book the celebrity match that we've been waiting for in AEW for years now. Chris Jericho finally finishing his feud with the Gooch. I miss the Gooch.
I mean, it's been a long time coming.
Mickey Gooch! It's all about me. I think it's more about Mike Tyson and Henry Cejudo, but okay.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Vitor Belfort's there as well. Do you want to move out of the way a little bit?
Next Wednesday, by the way, you want to tune in to the channel. Yeah, I mean, you should tune in every day because, come on, look at us. But Simon Miller's doing a special Ups and Downs next Wednesday. AEW versus NXT.
Yes.
Tune in for that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
His brain's going to explode trying to cover all that.
It really is.
I'll tell you what, if you like YouTube things, WhatCulture Wrestling Podcast on YouTube.
Link
next
below,
week
I
is
think.
I believe so. Next week is when we go live with daily video podcast. If you're a fan of the audio podcast, they are not going to change. It's still going to go out as normal.
I'm going to delete them.
But if you want to watch our ugly mugs pulling stupid faces and doing ridiculous voices, actually that's just me. The Dadleys do a lot of analysis that's genuinely good. Go and subscribe. WhatCulture Wrestling Podcast on YouTube.
The conductor in the middle. The I don't know, you're Willy Wonka or something.
Willy Wanker.
Does that make them Oompa Loompas? It's a bit harsh, isn't it? That's a bit harsh. Hamlet's actually quite tall. Anyway.
Moving on.
They haven't even got green hair. Let's talk about the AEW wrestlers. Who else is in Charlie in the Chocolate Factory?
Augustus Gloop. And that one who turns into a berry.
Barry Manilow. That's the one. What are we doing? Right, AEW. Who's taking time off from AEW?
Oh yeah, this is a nice story.
Yeah, Julia Hart and Lee Johnson.
Yeah.
They get married and they're going on a honeymoon.
Who are they getting married to?
Each other.
Oh yeah, lovely. Congratulations.
Yeah, they're taking some time off. They're getting married. They're going on a honeymoon. They announced last year, it was like last October, that they were getting married, and now it's happening. So that's sick. Julia obviously just had the Chris Statlander match.
Yeah, it's a shame she's going away.
It is. But it's like, it's for a good reason.
Normalise this sort of thing.
Yeah, 100%. People should be allowed to have time off for big life things. Hustle culture, grind. Don't live to work. It's silly. They'll be back soon, you'd imagine. Fightful Select reported this yesterday. Lee has been mostly wrestling on Ring of Honor lately. He's had some big matches, like some big opponents. Well, Claudio Castagnoli, he's rubbed shoulders with the Mogul Embassy in matches. He's faced Shane Taylor. So, yeah, he's been doing bits over on Ring of Honor. Julia, obviously, in the ascendancy in AEW for 20-plus match win streak. The match with Statlander was really good, I thought. Wrestle Dream, she'll be taking some time off. They'll all be back. Her taking time off does make sense.
Yeah.
Like, Malachi Black's injured at the moment. He's got a minor injury. I don't know about Buddy. Brody's messed up his hand or whatever.
Yeah.
So, the House of Black in general is inactive. So it's not a disaster, obviously, and very happy for them. Did they meet in AEW? I'm not sure, but
Maybe.
it's a nice story.
Yeah, lovely stuff. I do hope the Outrunners are invited to this wedding.
Oh, tell them, turn.
They'd be so good to have at your wedding.
The youngest man alive.
I wouldn't trust them to do a speech, but they'd be great to have at your wedding. But congratulations to them. Too.
I want them to do the ceremony. Like on my wedding, I want Turbo
Two-man vicar.
Truth and Turb.
One big dog collar between them. Right, let's talk about last night's AEW Dynamite. We mentioned earlier that Edger was in the main event. Well, he opened it and he was in the main event, in fact. He had a little interaction with Jericho, Omega.
Flew all the way to the show on a money plane, I heard.
Did you watch that again last night?
No, I thought about it.
I saw that and I thought, I need to watch that.
All-time great film.
But yes, he was in the main event last night and he was told to, apologies, who's doing editing? Nicholas.
Yes.
Sorry, mate. He was told to go f yourself by Christian Cage in the main event.
I almost titled the video that. Just go F yourself.
Go for it. Adam Copeland said, let's, roll back the years. Let's make a tag team. Let's have all these mint matches against like FTR and the Young Bucks, and Christian Cage, in a different set of words, said no.
Yeah.
And then the show closed basically with Christian Cage saying, "There's what you got to look forward to next week." And then Luchasaurus and Nick, I'm going to call him Nick Cage.
Nick Aldis.
Nick Wayne came out on stage next to him, just closed at the show. After the show went off the air, though, unsurprisingly, they all walked down to the ring to kick Adam Copeland's ass. You had Luchasaurus getting in Copeland's face. He took a swing. There was a bit of a goozling going on, but Copeland got free before a chokeslam could be hit, speared Luchasaurus, and then speared Nick Wayne out of his goddamn shoes. Yeah. Christian Cage thought about it and then thought,
I'll give this a miss. Yeah, Nick Wayne barely stood up before he got blasted, the poor kid. There you go. AEW have uploaded the footage if you want to see it. So it's out there. The Coper having a big first night.
Yeah, very exciting with him. Just running through a list of, like you say, not only tag teams, but also singles matches. I'm so excited to see what happens in the next 12 months.
Talking about going to Japan and facing Okada yesterday. I love it. I want to see him in freak fights. Like, what does him and Ishii look like?
What does him and Toru Yano look like?
Oh my god. Yes, let's do it. The volume of different facial expressions. You would get every facial... Because like Adam Copeland's a very facially dramatic man, right?
And he's a good comedy guy.
Yeah. And it's a lot of intensity when he's doing the babyface and like a lot of like overwhelming emotion and stuff. And Yano just going... It'd be so funny. Like, let's go.
Copeland versus Ospreay.
Oh, yeah.
What does that look like?
That's for the freaks. Let's go.
Freaks
Copeland
on a
versus
leash.
Josh Barnett, my new favourite wrestler. I love Josh Barnett.
Yeah.
I love
right, let's move on to your questions. So we took them from the YouTube community page and we'll take them from there tomorrow. So if you want to go over on the YouTube community page and send us your questions on there. There's a little thread in amongst all the votes for what you thought of this week's shows.
Every week, 60 to 70% up. That's it. Every poll. I love the positivity.
Good positivity, yeah.
It's great.
Brandon Paramore says, "Good afternoon, gents. I see Wardlow returned last night." Yeah, of course he returned.
Brandon Paramore, brother of Haley Paramore, of course.
I was thinking the other day, what if MJF patched things up with Wardlow and made him his interim ROH tag team partner? That could be interesting. What do you think? A reuniting of MJF and Wardlow?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Wardlow needed something new for ages.
Yes.
He got that last night. The really good squash of Griff Garrison. He
arrived kick-ass lead.
Powerbombed him like 7 times and like it looked like he was trying to break his back. It was really good, like really well done. I think that direction makes sense for sure. I wish the War Daddy would grow his top knot back, admittedly.
Yeah.
But I think that reuniting him and MJF is fun and it could give Wardlow some purpose.
Yeah, be intriguing as well. Like the whole thing with this new MJF character is switching dynamics. So a Hamlet, for example, has suggested for a long time now you do Ricky Starks at Winter is Coming a year on, but with the roles reversed. Wardlow being the guy to turn on MJF.
That's very nice, isn't it? Very
I wouldn't mind seeing something like that down the road.
I would like some proper concerted world title programs. Like, I know the Brochacho stuff is really, really over.
The Edger wants it.
The Edger wants it. We've now got the Jay White storyline, so that's a really good direction. I loved the Samoa Joe Micro storyline, but it was like,
living his best life, isn't he, Joe?
Killing it. Cigar, the whiskey last night. What a guy. I love Samoa Joe. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some concerted...
I agree.
Extended world title programs.
Next question. The question's good, but I'll be honest, the name first caught my eye. Comes from 1993, Go Gators.
Oh, hell yeah. Go Gators every day, man. Gainesville. The person who's asked this question will know. FSU or something? I don't know.
It's Go.
It's a Florida university.
Remember GFY? That lasted about an hour.
Yeah, until John Moxley ruined it for him.
So 993 Go Gators, apologies Adam Nicholas, says, if Roman Reigns versus were to happen at Survivor Series, if it were to happen at Survivor Series and Knight loses, do you think all of his momentum will be gone if he doesn't bounce back and win the Rumble?
I don't think the match is going to happen at Survivor Series.
No.
I think they're going to, if is going to be in a world title picture, I think it's going to be a little while from now.
At the Rumble?
I think he's a candidate to win the Rumble, honestly, and face whoever isn't Roman as a world champion in WWE.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I think Cody's going to finish the story. I don't think they'll do LA Knight so early. I'm all for the rocket strap push, don't get me wrong, but I get the impression that they have Roman's direction sketched out for the next 6 months or so at least.
Thank God the riot strike's over.
Oh, I know, man. I know. Like... It's
worried for a moment there.
I know. It's like, what's going to happen here, baby? But yeah, I don't think it'll be LA Knight at Survivor Series. And if he did lose, would he lose his momentum? Nah, they'd do a screw job finish.
Yeah, I think they're going to do some form of bloodline versus, Cody, Kev, Sammy, that sort of thing. Maybe feature LA Knight in that with the bloodline losing because it's all going to pop for them or what's left of them, I suppose. Maybe you do. I like the idea of LA Knight versus Roman at the Rumble because then you take LA Knight out of the Rumble picture. So if someone like Cody wins it again, this time from number 1 rather than number 30, that works as well. Yeah. But I think Knight, I wouldn't be too concerned about Knight. I think he's going to have a great 6 or so months. He can have it. The road to WrestleMania looks great for him, and he should be in the world title match at not the Roman one, the other one at Mania for me. Final question today comes from Michael Hipshire, who says, good morning, gents. With Adam Copeland going to AEW because WWE had nothing for him, but he felt like he had some left in the tank, do you feel the same could be said about AJ Styles? Seems like WWE has nothing for him. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Mike.
Well, I believe the most recent reporting on AJ's deal, contract-wise, to make this possible, is that it expires in 2024 sometime.
Okay.
So take that for what you will. My impression of AJ Styles is that he is a WWE lifer at this point.
Yeah.
I know he's only been there for 7 years. And I know he was in TNA for longer or whatever, but I think he's just really content. I think he's happy just effing around, you know? Like, I don't think that after all he's done in this career that AJ Styles looks at his wrestling career and goes, yeah, I want to do more. I think he strikes me as a guy who's quite content. I might be completely wrong in that. I would love to see AJ Styles just go out and have another kick-ass high-level run somewhere. But I think he's just kind of happy, just duffing around.
I think there's an argument to be made that Cody Rhodes' arrival and subsequent push in WWE doesn't happen without AJ Styles, because he kind of broke the mold. Yeah. Like, everyone else that they brought in from other promotions, they were like, right, start at the beginning again, because no one knows who you are.
Yeah.
They brought TNA, they brought AJ Styles in, none of this NXT bollocks. They brought him in, they gave him a big thing at the Rumble. They made him lose at his first WrestleMania. That was dumb. But he won the world title and he held it for bloody ages.
Great matches with John Cena. Like, yeah, they did. There's like you say, there's individual things you can look at in that first year and go, maybe that shouldn't have happened. But for the most part, really successful.
But I wouldn't rule out him going to AEW.
No.
I think that would be more, I don't think it's necessarily AEW tempting him. Because like you say, I don't think he's got anything else to prove.
Yeah.
And he's had so many phenomenal matches. He's faced so many, pun intended, he's faced, all of the best guys. But if he thinks, well, maybe I got one more little run in me doing that, I wouldn't be surprised, like you say, if he stays to WWE. He's having a load of fun with his OC mates and what have you. But if he thinks, no, I've got a year or two left, I want to do something, I wouldn't be surprised if he jumped either.
There are other ties as well, if you think about it, like his wrestling connections, all the people he's wrestled before. He's wrestled everyone. He's been everywhere.
Bullet Club stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of stuff you can do all over there. But there's another link as well. Obviously, AEW is based in Jacksonville, Florida. Florida, the state as we know it, is the home of the flat F-U-C-K. AJ Styles, flat Earth. So there you go. Makes perfect sense.
Tell you what else makes perfect sense. Checking out this video right here.
Go f*** yourself.